We're going to take a little train ride right now, folks. And Mr. Dave Wickerham's at the helm.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Chicago Junction from the John Evita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Wednesday, December the 11th, the year 2024. Today, the panel will be talking about railroads and model railroads. And now, to start today's broadcast, here's our announcer, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you, John. And our guest, Mr. Shikanda, our supporter, our ardent supporter, and welcome for another journey to the wonderful world of trains. And we'll probably tie up some loose ends that we might have left some people hanging before. And we were coming up to the Christmas season, so probably talk a little bit about that. And we have our news bird dog, Doug Kenyak.
Howdy, everybody. Mr. Bryan, you ready to go? Or
we can go.
We can go. All right, this is Doug Kenyak.
Hey, signal's green.
Yep.
We can highball.
Longtime rail fan, N-scaler, officer in the Railroad and Short Lines Club of Chicago, which we meet on the third Friday of every month. Union Station, by the way. And adjunct professor at the local college. And we have Mr. Bryan, who thinks he's got qualifications.
Oh, just about. Yes, I'm retired U.S. Navy. I was a gunner's mate. Shot everything from 22s to 16 inches. And then I was a kid, I got that Lionel train set. Actually, my dad bought it for himself. Didn't expect me. And grew up with Lionel and living in New Jersey. Half a block down the street was where the major fire department was located with the big hook and ladder. And then halfway up the street was the elevated line from New York to Philadelphia on the Pennsylvania Railroad. And been with trains. I got lucky to be able to start working on them. When I retired from the Navy, found out needed another job if I wanted to eat. Had enough to pay for the house and the car, but it ended up starting with the Chicago Northwestern, conductor, became an engineer, belonged to several museums and enjoy myself, and several groups that play with trains, which we will talk about because they have some displays that'll be going through the Christmas holidays.
Woohoo!
Oh, yes.
Is So you ready for a little bit of news?
Yeah,
Obscure news?
we can try.
All right. Drones and social media participating partnership tackles deadly subway surfing. Operation Lifesaver safety campaign has expressed concern over an increase in illegal subway surfing where people ride on the outside of the metro trains, and New York City Transit has deployed drones to back up a publicity campaign developed with teenagers to tackle the problem, which has already caused 6 deaths this year. The dangerous activity not only puts lives at risk but also impacts family and community, says Operation Lifesaver Executive Director Rachel Mehe on November 8th. Tracks and trains demand respect, and making safe choices around them can make the difference between life and loss. As a side note, there was 2 this month that drove around the gates and got hit in the Chicago area. We urge everyone to discuss the importance of safe decisions and actions around trains and tracks with loved ones. The New York Police Department is using drones to check moving subway trains for surfers, with officers then holding the train at the next station to remove them. Deployment is informed by the public emergency calls, and by the end of October they caught 114 people. They ranged in age from 9 to 33 years old, with the average being 14 years old. A subway surfing kill, ride inside, stay alive campaign is underway, with announcements and publicity material created by teenagers. Information is being included with student travel tickets, branded handouts in schools, and social media posts across platforms of TikTok, YouTube, Meta, Google, and so on. Subway surfing is already a death trap, one that is endangering more and more young people who see others doing it on social media, said the New York mayor. But those 5 minutes of online fame could lead to years of regret and pain. So, there you go. Subway surfing. Now, if you know how New York City subways are constructed, there's about 4 feet between the roof of the train and the roof. Not here. Here we only got 1 foot.
Yep.
So they can't ride the top of the trains here. You can ride between the cars here, but you can't ride on top of them. So
Well,
anyway,
believe it or not, you've actually had guys jump on trains when they were leaving stations.
Yep.
And holding on to the door. And these are on the regular metro trains.
It makes you wonder what they're thinking when they do it.
Oh, it's like the guy at D Road Station,
Okay.
all right, in Park Ridge. And, of course, the car's over the grade crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy was on one side of the train, and the door didn't open on that side. So he crawled under the car.
Oh, jeez.
No, and came right up in front of me and the conductor.
Did you let him on the train?
What train?
Okay. Yeah, well, I've seen my share of stuff at the crossings and stuff, and it just makes you wonder.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's surprising.
I mean, the best one I had was where 1 block west of River Road, where the Milwaukee tracks cross.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the down thing, Cadillac behind me, driven by this old lady. Went around us, around the gate, right in front of the train. Train missed her. We were sitting there the whole time watching this.
And actually missed her?
Missed her. By inches. So, yep. My wife always thought of the stories I would tell her, and then one day she was with me. Oh, that does happen, doesn't it? I go, yep.
I mean, it
I go, there's just in a hurry.
We have several incidents recently, and we talked about it yesterday. We had a meeting with our fourth quarter meeting for Operation Lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I got the statistics. And
Yeah, it's not pretty.
no, because things have gone up.
Well, people are in a hurry.
Yeah.
Well, the other part of the problem...
in Illinois, deaths at crossings have gone up.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is when railroads ran everywhere, everybody was aware of the trains. They don't run everywhere now. So when they see a train, they don't connect the two that it's dangerous.
Yeah, well, still. Well, a lot of it has to do with removal of certain classes from schools.
Yep.
Because of budget cuts.
Well, alleged budget cuts.
We have driver's ed.
Mm-hmm.
I know schools in the East, or if you want to play football, you got to pay for it. And we're talking $800. And I'm sitting there going, I like football as much as the Simpsons did. And I know, Blanche was happy. She is a Bengal fan. A bagel fan.
Bagel, Bengals, same difference.
But yeah.
Put stripes on both of them.
She watched both games. Until then, the recording had to start, so we had to get rid of one game.
There he goes. Hey, talking about train accidents, here's one. Using AI to help avoid train accidents. I think this is out of the UK, but I'm not sure. It talks about SUNY, so. AI researchers at Stony Brook University have found a way to use artificial intelligence and guided ultrasonic waves for detecting faults inside switch rails. The model is a significant advancement from the existing ones and has the potential to be used for practical purposes. A recent survey by the International Union of Railways noted how high-speed railway networks are expanding rapidly, and the length of the worldwide high-speed railroad network has reached 59,000 kilometers. With the increase in demand for faster trains, switch rails tend to get more easily damaged, especially in high-speed rail tracks, due to their special structures and heavy workload. Zongjin, SUNY Empire Innovative Associate Professor, SUNY is Southern University of New York, by the way, in biometric information, and a member of the Stony Brook's AI Innovation Institute, discussed the problem. It's important to ensure the switch rails are working perfectly in a high-speed rail system. So we wanted to look at methods that would not destroy the structures while we're looking for damage. Traditional non-destructive testing techniques such as eddy currents, magnetic flux leakage, and ultrasonic techniques are all point-by-point inspection methods with low efficiency. While the first two methods can detect surface and near-surface damage, ultrasonic waves can detect wide areas of switch rails. The solution was to use guided waves. These waves propagate over long distance and are sensitive to defects. They also allow us to inspect large areas in a short amount of time, since railway tracks are usually open for repairs at night. Guided waves meet the requirements for fast, accurate, reliable scanning of damaged rails. So they could use ultrasonic waves connected with AI to inspect tracks over a wide distance. That's what the summary is.
That's not bad.
No,
But that's what they use.
Yeah. So, okay, here's another one. UTC approves $73,000 for pull-up fence project. The Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission, UTC, approved a $73,000 grant to the pull-up fencing project. The Great Crossing Protective Fund grant will be used to install 678 feet of 5 3/4-inch gauge mesh security fencing along the BNSF right-of-way. The fence will measure 6 feet tall, located at 15th Street, 17th Street, and 19th Street. The fencing will reduce trespassing and help guide pedestrians toward public signalized railroad crossings. In the past, the line has experienced fatalities related to trespassing. With this new fence, public safety is expected to improve significantly. After a recent fatality, the UTC rail safety staff informed the city that they got the funds to put the fence up. We need a fence. No, you don't. Yeah, we do. No, we don't. 5 people were killed. Okay, here's the money. Okay. NICT approves agreement for shorter route to the South Bend Airport. The South Shore Line has secured a shorter route into South Bend International Airport after NICD and the Airport Authority finalized the agreement. The shorter route saves passengers around 12 to 15 minutes who are traveling to and from Chicago on the South Shore Line. The realignment will lead to a reduction in travel time, eliminating curves, reduced grade crossings. Now, the amount of available federal funding is decreasing. According to a report in Inside Indiana Business, NICT President Mike Dolan said there's still money left in the current bipartisan infrastructure law and the current Surface Transportation Act. Can't wait anymore. If we're going to fund this project, now's the time to do it. NICT will acquire the easement on the west side through an appraisal process following approval from the Federal Aviation Administration. NICT will also pay the airport $25,000 a year to use some of its terminal space as a waiting room, and the airport would continue to provide parking for South Shore passengers. The agreement goes for 50 years with options for two 25-year extensions. In the agreement, the Airport Authority required language about what would happen should the South Shore Line stop operations to and from the airport. So, they're finally coming in from the west side after all those people screaming and yelling, "Not my property." Guess what? Tough luck, guys. Now, here's one typical of Britain. This goes out of the UK. Avanti West Coast launches a new low-alcohol beer safety thirst for festive campaign. Now, Avanti operates some of the trains in Britain. Avanti West Coast has launched a new low-alcohol beer as part of a safety campaign to help reduce customer accidents at station and onboard trains during the festive period. Named Safety Thirst, the 0.5% pale ale will be stocked on board the intercity operator trains to encourage those enjoying festivities to drink responsibly while traveling on the rail network. The initiative is being backed by UK's leading alcohol charity, DrinkAware, and the Rail Safety and Standards Board. Figures compiled by the Rail Safety Board showed a number of accidents on the Great Britain mainline network last year where intoxication was a possible factor, increased by 45% during the Christmas period. Gee, I could have told them that. This is the second phase of Avanti's West Coast Take Care, Get There campaign, which aims to help customers navigate railway stations safely. Launched in August, the first stage of the awareness drive saw the train operators personify parts of the station buildings through bespoke artwork to highlight how they improve safety. It was created with the help of the behavioral scientist Richard Sutton. This time the focus is on the festive period where people are taking the train to Christmas markets, night out, or shopping and may want to enjoy a drink, highlighting the pitfalls of consuming too much alcohol while using the railway. To promote the campaign, a choir made up of Avanti West Coast colleagues performed a reworked version of Jingle Bells, replacing it with Safety Thirst, focusing on safety messages. Served in bold, vibrant cans, the design of Safety Thirst draws inspiration from a Heritage Railway wayfinding signage that was a catch line, "Rail safety just got tasty." The limited edition brew has been created in a partnership with Birmingham Brewing Company, who are located on the West Coast Main Line, and is based on their award-winning low-alcohol pale ale, Sober Bromine. So there you go. And instead of having the Puke Express at New Year's, they could have the near beer at the train station. They actually had a picture of the can in the article.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that. Safety Thirst. Nice name for a beer. There you go. There's the other one. See, rail safety just got tasty.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a good slogan.
Yes, it is. I told you I can find these goofy stories all over the place.
Yes, you can. And I found that story, too.
Oh, you saw that one? Okay. Now, here's the interesting one. CSX appeals Supreme Court tests reach of antitrust law. Freight rail giant CSX has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to revive its lawsuit accusing rival Norfolk Southern of denying access to the key East Coast terminal, costing CSX hundreds of millions of dollars in lost profits. CSX said that the Supreme Court petition made public on Monday that a U.S. appeals court in Richmond wrongly ruled that it sued too late, missing a 4-year window to bring claims for U.S. antitrust law violations. So we got, yeah, we're going to fight over profits, basically. And finally, little blurb here. I got this one off the union page for the engineers. Decline of North America's hump yards. The number of hump yards operating in North America has dropped precipitously over the decades. Today, there are 36 active hump yards operated by the Big Six Class 1 systems and terminal and switching railroads. That's down from 59 in 2002, 72 in 1993, 122 in 1985, and 152 in 1975. Yet, hump yards, which use gravity to classify freight cars, remain enormously important to the carload network. They are the most efficient way to classify high volumes of carload traffic into destination-based blocks and ultimately merchandise trains. A typical hump yard classifies between 1,500 to 3,000 cars a day.
Did they say why they disappeared?
No, it was just a short little blurb at the end of their News for the Day webpage.
Okay. Think about it. When did that start? When did it start?
Precision railroading.
Bingo. You don't hear much about precision railroading now, do you?
They still got the hump yard at Bensonville, but it's used occasionally. I've seen it sometimes in operations. Sometimes I go by and it's not. But they do a lot of flat switching with two 4400 diesel units. Now I'm sitting there thinking, let's see, they used to push it up with two 1500 switchers up the hump to switch the cars, to break them up. Now they're using two 4,400 horsepower units with flat switching. Explain to me how that's cost effective.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's not cost effective.
No. If you notice, proviso, no hump.
Yeah.
They took it all out. UP went whole hog. I don't know if UP's got any. I think they got one or two.
Well, I think the one in the Platte is still in operation. I don't think they can get away from that one. And BRC still got theirs. I don't know if IHB is still running their one in Riverside.
Yeah. What about the one in Bar Yard?
That's the one, I think.
That's
the BLCT one.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to go look on a map and see.
Oh, you have to try to get a hold of Harold.
So, somebody got into their head that flat switching is more efficient. So I look at the numbers and I sit there and say, see, now you got a two-man crew, they're flat switching. It's going to take an hour to sort a bunch of cars out, a 100-car train. Same two-man crew pushing it up over a hump. Well, one guy on the engine pushing it up, the other guy on the ground popping the pin, and the computers tell which track to go to. The fuel alone would make it the fuel cost alone is a differential right there. You're running two 4400s in flat switch. I stand at Manheim and watch it at the East End when they're doing that. I'm like, why are you using two 4400s to do flat? Sometimes there's three units doing it, doing the flat switching.
Yeah, well, they come in when they either take them out of the shop or something, they couple them together, and they keep them all there. They're not all running.
Well, I gotta say one thing for CP, they use somebody else's units a lot of times. I've seen where they got a Norfolk Southern, a UP, and a CSX, and they're doing flat switching with them. Hey, let's burn their stuff out instead of ours.
There you go. There you go.
So
it's the way to do some of these things. But yeah.
So what you got on the horizon there?
Well, we got in England. Since they've stopped the coal mining there, they do not have. Let's just say they're losing the coal for the steam locomotives. So what they're doing now, they're going to do conversion to oil. Now, because of one company that's been doing it in a certain country called the USA, they are providing all the hardware from Minnesota.
So they could convert them to oil burners.
Make them oil burners.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, they'll be able to, because I know one railway that's still running with coal, which is the Festiniog,
Mm-hmm.
and, the narrow gauge there. I mean, they've got some big engines, too. They got they have that it's a nice picture, too.
Now the question comes down: was that the federal? Was that the government there that forced them off the coal, or is this because no more mines are open?
Yeah, the mines. Well, the government closed the mines.
Okay.
They were saying that's what was causing, the pollution and.
Oh yeah, it's going to cause climate change. You can run a steam engine.
Yeah. And. So yeah, they're working in conjunction.
Could be
with
worse.
The British. Yes.
They could be.
Guess what?
They could put electric motor in there and some speakers and make it sound like a steam engine.
Oh, like that one live steamer. Out at the live steam. Oh, haven't you been to that?
No.
Oh yeah, I gotta take you out there. The 1.5-inch scale, and they have one engine, 040, and it's battery powered and it's got a speaker.
Yeah, we're heading in that direction.
But yeah, they are trying to find some other alternatives. But it was interesting. I read that the engine that they are going to rebuild first
Mm-hmm.
is an American war baby. Consolidation.
Well, got to start somewhere. I mean, it could be worse. It could go a fuel cell. Electric motors have the fuel cell in the tender and run the wires into the drivers, and
Yeah.
and then have the speakers mounted so it sounds like it's coming down the track, and then you have phony smoke coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You have streamers coming out of the smokestack, so it looks like it's got smoke coming out. And
Yeah, this weekend, and
Kids
I
will never know.
believe next weekend, you'll be able to ride some steam.
we're at.
One at the Hoosier Valley in
Okay.
North Judson,
Okay.
using Fred Haverkamp's only. Now, there's a lot of 4-inch running,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all narrow gauge except one. His is the first standard gauge one running.
What about the ones the CTA have?
They're not running.
Okay.
They've
But they were
moved it.
standard gauge.
They were standard. Yes, I'm not saying they weren't, but they're not
operating,
operational. Fred's is,
Okay.
and since it's Fred's, it looks a lot different than when it was built. No, it's got beautiful wooden
Mm-hmm.
cap,
Oh, okay.
and not steel. Oil tank's smaller, but
Hey, it runs. That's what's important.
oh yeah, and it is nice. And also, you can go to the Heston Steam Museum
Okay.
in northern LaPorte County.
Been there.
So have I, since I'm a member.
They still got the. Did they get the Brookville stuff?
Brookville?
The Brookville Zoo train?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I read that someplace.
some of the steamers they got. In fact, they do have one day, usually the third weekend in September. They run all Chicago stuff.
Mm-hmm.
because they got the Kittyland
I
locomotives.
was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
They get the Kittyland ones.
Both streamlined.
Oh, cool.
Both streamlined ones. Yes, they have a 1.5 mile loop, 14-inch gauge track. The other loop is also 2 foot, which happens to be the Brookfield stuff. It was when at the turn of the century, or actually turn of the century, is when they opened up a warehouse and found this train set collecting dust.
When did Brookfield take it out of operation?
I have no
Back
idea.
in the 90s, 80s, something like that?
Yeah.
Because I vaguely remember it being there. I don't remember ever seeing them run when we used to take the kid to the zoo.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly it. The cars that everybody's been using has been Brookfield cars they've been sitting
Okay.
in. Now they do have one, I think 2 enclosed coaches. And they finally, the steep hill that they had, they finally got it leveled a little bit. And
So nobody has to get out and push now, right?
yeah, you don't have to get out and push, but then the couplers will be working better
Oh, okay.
going around the curves and such. And that's kind of neat. And, well, you have the Shay. It's converted to wood burner.
Mm-hmm. Shays are fun locomotives. You know, I've seen those pistons on the side going up and down, turning the gears.
They call them sewing
Yeah.
machines.
Remember a buddy of mine goes, "That's not supposed to work." I go, "It's running right in front of you. What do you mean it can't work?"
And then you got
Not designed to go fast. It's designed to go 10 miles an hour because it's hauling a ton of junk behind it.
that's why it can pull a ton of junk.
Yeah, and it was on the badly laid track for logging railroads. That's why the wheel sets are the way they are, so it can navigate.
That's why they're
Yep.
a little flexible.
Yep,
And
specifically designed.
And I'll tell you what, I worked on a 90-ton Shay, Feather River number 3.
Mm-hmm.
When I was with I'm still a member because I bought the life membership, and of the Pacific Southwest Railway Museum. So I still get the newsletters. And I would like to fly out there to San Diego again so I could see it. And they sold it for $90,000.
To who?
Who's big into Shays? Cass.
Oh, okay.
Cass Scenic Railway bought it. The 90-tonner, the only engine more powerful than Feather River number 3, now number 11, is Western Maryland 6.
Okay.
That's the only one. Those are the 2 powerhouses.
I have to watch the Cumberland virtual rail fan camera at Cumberland to see if they bring it out and use it, because they run a lot of the Western Maryland stuff there. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're actually
when
hooked.
they're not
up-
looking at those or looking at the Amtrak train going by. So
Yeah, but I rode on the equipment they got. They do have Western Maryland diesels, BL2s.
yep. And I had some big steam engine one time. I can't tell you what
Yeah.
exactly because again I'm flipping
I
through
don't
channels.
know.
Oh, look, I'll watch this for a while.
I don't know where it is.
But yeah, and then they got the bicycles, the pedal cars.
The pedal cars,
On
and
the other track.
they're being made in Boyertown, Pennsylvania.
I was watching the guy Krell a whole bunch of them back one time, and I'm like, okay. And of course, he's got to cross the street, and they don't trip the gates. So he has another guy out there going, waving his hand, stop, we got to push these across the street.
Come on, you give me a flare or something.
Give me a flamethrower, I'll stop these cars.
Oh yeah, it's great. But yeah, the thing is, they actually have a back door railway, the tourist railroad, because I've rode on it, and we went up along the Greenbrier River, and it was beautiful. It was really nice, and right across from the station, there's a nice little Holiday Inn, and no complaints. Nice place, and it's just beautiful.
So what's new with the calendar there?
Well, this is for the Chicagoland Lionel Railroad Club. Now, I'm a member of them too. Yeah, we didn't talk about my memberships at the beginning of the program because they kept telling me I was too long.
Well, if we did, we'd be done at 8 o'clock, and you'd be still talking about them.
Yep. Well, they rented a warehouse space, and they rebuilt a new layout for them.
Location?
Location, New Lenox, Illinois.
Okay.
At 1311 Schoolhouse Road, New Lenox. Now, this Saturday...
I'm trying to picture where that's at. I've been to New Lenox numerous times. I just can't picture where that is at the moment.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Road. And then this you drive down, and you'll see a bunch of signs telling you how to get there. And but they're doing their... Not only is it open house weekend, it's also Santa Claus.
Great. And when's the next open house? Because I see you got the... that's January, right? Or February? What's the January open house? What date?
Oh, the January one?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going through December.
Yeah, well, yeah, but by the time this gets on the air...
Hang on.
So we want January and February so that people could start planning ahead to be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but the open house I have, last one, is for the 13th.
Yeah, that's...
of December.
Yeah, that's like tomorrow or something. So you don't have January on there?
No.
So the calendar goes from December to February. Nice calendar. Just skip a month. No problem. It's cold anyway, so nobody's going to go out.
Here.
No open house, though, in January.
We don't do 13. Yeah, we don't do 13. In fact...
There's no open house in January. So the next one's February what?
It'll probably be the first weekend of December, so it would probably be the 3rd and the 10th.
Okay. So February 10th, January 3rd.
No. January 3rd and January 10th.
Oh, okay. So January 3rd, January 10th, open house. Come visit New Lenox. And then for February, I'll see if I can post this. Send me a note. I'll post it on the Facebook site.
Yeah, I will. When they finally answer me. But
yes, folks, we have a Facebook site. Come look at it.
And we have a nice movie theater. There'll be a film showing in it.
Snowpiercer or Snakes on the Train?
Actually, the name is remarkable. It was a well-known name in 1930. Oh, what was it? 1938, I think it was.
Is that the one with the Zephyr?
Nope. I was talking about it today because it became the site of the world's greatest invention or invasion that never happened.
Oh, L.A.? Or Alaska or Hawaii?
Outside of Princeton, New Jersey.
Oh, H.G. Wells stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of that farm.
Yeah, you're right. I can't draw it up either. Every sci-fi fan knows it. Eh.
Yeah, I do. Because we were talking about it today.
Something Mills.
Yeah, Grover. Grover Mills.
Yeah.
That's the name of the movie theater.
Okay.
And I got a hold of the city council. They made, on the 50th anniversary of it, they made a monument for the greatest invasion that never happened.
Great.
And I found out they made miniatures of it. So I was talked them into getting me one, and my wife found out. You what? I said, when do you see it when he gets here? And we're gonna put it up. The guy that built the station, the movie theater, it's a drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
I says, we're gonna dedicate the monument to him. He kind of passed away.
Ah.
And he, in fact, we had him in here one night. And miss him.
Well, saw an interesting recap, because YouTube runs, these guys put up movie recaps
Yeah.
where they summarize the movie in 30 minutes so you don't have to watch it. And I didn't realize Asylum was a series of movies. They're a movie house that produces a bunch of monster, like snakes in the train, for example,
Yeah.
okay? They had one called Invasion, or I think it's called Invasion. I don't remember the exact name. And what was happening was the aliens were following every release of an Asylum movie. The monster in those movies were being released in some city. So when they got the snakes on the train, a snake was eating the subway in Tokyo. and they realized that it took them about halfway into the movie to figure out that, well, what's the next movie in the Asylum series? The guy goes, well, it's going to be okay, we got to figure out where they're going to attack next. So they had like a crocodile come out of the sewers in New York, and it was an Asylum movie spoofing itself, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So I go, I can put that on my list to actually watch it for real now, and pull it up on the Tubi or something and watch it. But I just thought it was interesting, it's snakes on the train, and they're
Send me the list,
so.
please.
But,
I mean, we have.
well, Asylum's got a channel on one of those, like Pluto or Tubi or something that says Asylum Movies, and YouTube has been actually channeling that. So when I switched into it, I don't know, it was some movie playing. I didn't know what it was. Later on, I figured out that they were putting the name in the corner. I thought that was a commercial, and so
I mean, when I found the Perfect Railroad movie that was worse or is on par with Plan 9 from Outer Space.
oh yeah, which one's that?
Disaster on the Coastline.
Oh yeah, you loaned me that one. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh my God.
Even the wife picked it apart, and she's not that big of a rail fan. Hanging around with me, she's picking the stuff up, and she goes, "Wait a minute. There's no wire there to power the train. Wait a minute. There's no tunnels there. Wait a minute. There's, she's going right through the movie, picking it to pieces."
I know you were telling me when she was doing some of the bullet trains.
Yeah, and then there was that movie with the Hallmark one, where they.
Oh, on the yeah.
Yeah, she was picking that one apart. She goes, "What do you mean the railroad doesn't know where they're at?" I go, "No. If it's a main line, they know where exactly those guys are at. There's a few,
and
only the short lines don't have it."
They left the tunnel out.
Mm-hmm.
That was the funny thing.
Yeah, and they had a hike because the cell phones didn't work. I go, no. There's only a few spots in the country that there's no cell phone service, and that wasn't it.
Raton Pass is it.
Yeah, so she had a good time taking that movie apart too.
I know, but she read the book.
Yep.
And she goes, well, it makes better sense in the book.
Well, again, no, they don't do the research. They, what else? I'll sit there and I'll watch it. I go, no, wrong train. Nope, wrong service. Wrong company. Wrong city.
Well, it's like I found, I think I told you, I found a remake of the giant Gila monster.
Yeah, I brought that one to you. That was the one with the funny colors and stuff. The
Oh.
50-ish look.
Oh yeah, the 50-ish look,
Yeah.
and they used the 765, and the firemen couldn't get out the door on the cab. So I'm sitting there going, it doesn't have a door. Yes, it does have one in the front window, but how big did you make him?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of recaps. There was like top 10 50s monster movies,
Yeah.
that are so bad that you have to watch them because they're entertaining. And the Gila Monster was on that one, and
Yeah, yeah, giant monsters. I got a collection of giant monsters.
I like that one because you could pick apart the 9 different trains they use in the scenes.
Yes, I know. I love it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. That was an American Flyer switcher. Baldwin switcher. One that got me was the Black Scorpion.
Oh yeah, he
The
attacks
Black Scorpion. And you watch and you see the train.
and the tender's on backwards.
Well, during it watching the train, the tender's okay.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, it got flipped.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you can read Lionel lines.
Yep.
I love that stuff.
Or the giant claw when it grabs a train.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that movie? That was so bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, almost as.
The guy was doing a review of the movie, said it looked like they had leftover puppet parts when they put the bird together. But when the claw came down and grabbed the train, did you notice it never uncoupled. The whole train was lifted up. Did you ever try to lift the whole train? Even your HO train falls apart at some point.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, let's see where the wires are.
And the engine's still running the whole time. I know.
It was battery powered.
That's one heck of a battery.
Oh, it is.
Well, that's what, if I go back to HO or O scale, I'm going to look into what they call dead rail,
Yeah.
where you don't put power in the rails. It's all contained in the engine with a battery, and you use radio control to move it around. I like that idea. That way you could have your reverse loops and not have to worry about screwy wiring and stuff.
Well, I got one. Actually, I bought it in one time. That Z-gauge set in the little
I might not have been here.
plastic. Well, then I'll have to bring it for the next meeting.
There you go.
I'll bring that. And because it's a Merklin Z-gauge, and they put it in a little suitcase about that big. And it was clear. So you had an engine, one car,
Okay.
and then you got a 2 straight track, and then you got a dispenser for your battery pack. Use the battery. I went and bought several packets of curve and straight track
Sure.
and Z-gauge, and I have yet to put it on there.
You get a suitcase. Have train wheel travel.
That's it.
I got an N scale one in a suitcase.
I almost did that. That was aboard ship.
I
Where
did it
could
'cause
I keep it?
I had an old suitcase, a briefcase, and somebody said, "Ship on a train here." Okay, so I did. Now I learned how to do it. Now I'm going to do it the right way the next time.
There you
Because
go.
I used flex track and I was sort of bending it, and I got the curves a little too tight for some of the engines.
That's the way it usually is.
Then I remember when DCC was going hog nuts and everybody was going to DCC. Now they're starting to back off. Guy says, I could put a DC receiver in any locomotive. I go, N scale? Yeah, that's not a problem. So I came over with my Mini Tricks 060. And I said, good luck. He just looked, he goes, nothing will fit in that. Still can't. It's just too small. That's just the way the thing is designed, because the motor sits upright in the cab, and then the rest of the thing is real small for
Yeah.
no room, because the rest of it's the weight. So there's literally no room for it. There's not even room in there for a light. So
Yeah, you need one of the bigger locomotives.
it's I don't. If you're an HO or S scale, O scale or above, fine. You want lights in your cars, good luck. You want the remote control switches, things to uncouple, good. I'm an N scale. If you can't see it from 3 feet away, the detail doesn't matter.
Well,
I'm not one of those rivet counters like those RPM guys.
Yeah.
That boxcar's missing a rivet. So, sorry, I don't care. I'm looking to stay on the track once around the loop.
Yeah, it used to be my bane.
I still got the Rapido couplers, those goofy looking couplers.
Yeah.
Can't afford to switch over to knuckles. I got knuckle equipment. When Chicagoland was going out of business, I picked up a whole bunch. So now I could actually run. I got a locomotive and a bunch of cars now that can run with the knuckle couplers, but the Rapido couplers do fine. It's for what I'm going to be doing with it, it's far more than sufficient.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find a guy to paint my locomotive.
I know Raul with spray cans, but I hope.
No, I wanted to paint it in the second paint scheme for the American Freedom Train.
Oh.
Basically, it had a nice coat.
There used to be a guy at the Wheaton Train show that was a guy who'd paint stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know if he's
know.
still there.
Yeah, he did a lot of tin plate.
No, he did HO
I know
too.
because I bought some of his stuff.
Ah, okay.
I got a couple of nice tin plates. Still run good. And
Now, I'll tell you what's a good marvel of engineering. Is you see that Kato N-scale streetcars?
no.
The motor sits underneath that you could actually detail the inside of the streetcar. I'll bring it down. The motor's, it's a new kind of motor they developed. It sits under the floor.
Well, it's the same like with when Aristocrat made the PCC.
Mm-hmm.
They put it all. It's all on the truck.
Trucks, yeah. I remember that. Well, they were expensive, but they worked. They worked greatly.
Oh, they work great. Mine still runs,
Now
even with me playing with it.
Because I remember a guy, when I was still in the MRA, brought a street O-scale, and he had taken 4 N-scale motors and put them on the wheel sets. One on each wheel set. And I don't know, he had like an Indiana streetcar or something, whatever it was. And, he put it on there, and you could hear it whine just like the thing, and you had the jerky motion when it started up and everything, because you got 4 motors trying to start up at once.
Yeah, I got
I thought that was fascinating.
one. Brass O-gauge.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are, they're basically Philadelphia decorated Liberty liners. Because they bought them in '63.
Sure. Yep.
And I have the one that's called Independence Hall. And they made it a third rail. And took the trolley pole off. Put some indentures in there so the people didn't have to climb up. Just walk straight in from the platform. And I actually saw him one time. I was in the cab of an RDC going into Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going under the bridge under the Norristown line. And saw that sucker come by, and they were not going slow. And then they had what they call single cars. They were called bullets,
Mm-hmm.
and they were fast.
Yep. And they had some interesting equipment there.
Yes, they did. And
Now they're in the process of, they replace it with those, I forget who made them, and now they're replacing those. They're in
No,
the process of getting rid of those now,
what, the Kawasaki's?
starting next year.
Yeah, it's nice that they got some PCCs rebuilt instead of giving them away to everybody, like Kenosha.
Yep.
But,
Well, Caltrans sold all their FP59s to Peru.
yes.
That was interesting. I thought they weren't going to sell it to anybody, and if they
Who?
did sell them, they were going to damage the engine so they couldn't
Who?
run. Caltran.
Oh, yeah, Caltran had the F-59s, but they ended up going, some of them actually were with Amtrak. And
Yeah, because they had made the crack that, well, maybe a Metro will buy some more locomotives.
they did.
So,
They bought F-59s, and they ended up getting them from Metro Rail
okay.
in L.A.
And they're happy with those SD Max right now, too.
Oh, yeah, the SD Max. They better be happy with them.
Nice little muscle hustle there.
The good AC units.
I think that's what they wanted. They said something in one of their things. They want to switch to AC because it's less maintenance.
Yes, it is.
So it's okay.
And it's more power.
Because they run on the Milwaukee North Line right now, and nice, very well. They're new, so they better be quiet. But I remember the FC40s,
Yeah.
F40Cs. I mean, when they were new, they were nice too. Nice hustle and muscle with those.
Yeah.
So it's 8:00. So what do you think?
Yeah. I believe it's time to bring this train into the station. Sorry if hope we didn't bore you. Sir.
We'll wake them up.
You have been listening to Chicago Junction on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Wednesday, December the 11th, the year 2024. Chicago Junction was produced and directed by John DeVita, and our very special thanks to the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment, Mr. John Shikanda. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, December 11th, the year 2024. On behalf of the entire staff of Windy City Hometown Entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a very happy and blessed New Year. And we'll be talking to you again in 2025. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and good luck.
Hoorah.